Hello class, just a very quick high-level walkthrough of the Applied Spreadsheets Week 5 Lab 2 assignment. We're looking in the Lab Work 2 link of our class. Consider this your turn 2, determining the break-even point located on EX 271 in your e-textbook. When you turn to EX 271, as you scroll down to Lab 2, determining the break-even point, you can read through the scenario here. We're only completing up to Part 1. You don't have to complete Part 2. So we will be reading through the professional overview, and that's where you're going to get all your information. Now, again, I'm just going to do a really quick high-level overview. You're going to need to really look at the directions and format things and go through more carefully. So just to go through very quickly, this assignment is going to parallel the Lab 1 assignment. So I'm going to start with my fixed expenses. And below that, I have, and I'm gathering my information here from the e-textbook. So I'm taking that information that's located here. So as I come back over, I have fixed expenses, price per unit. I have an expense per unit, and of course, units to break even. And as I outlined, you need to do formatting of the font, maybe the row heights, make sure that they're all uniform and consistent. As you can see, row 5 is a little bigger than 4, but you're going to go through and do all those formatting things. So this is just to get you started. Assumed fixed expenses I see is $7,000. So I can enter in $7,000 here. And for price per unit, I see is $14.99. So I can enter in $14.99. And for expense per unit, I see that is $8. Now, units to break even, the formula is outlined here. So I'm really just following this pattern. When I follow that pattern, I start with my equal sign. I'm looking at, as the textbook outlines, fixed expenses. So I'll select B4. In my case, yours may not be B4. Then I'm looking to divide. So I will divide. And then in an open parenthesis, price per unit, so I'll select that, and then I'm going to subtract expense per unit. Subtract expense per unit, close parenthesis, and now I can enter and accept that. And now my formula function is there. I've just followed this formula right here in the e-textbook, and so now I have my units to break even. Now, just like we did in Lab 1, we want to come over and now we need to put in the data, which over here we'll have, say, price per unit. And again, you're going to need to do some formatting. Adjust your columns, your rows, and then I have units to break even. Again, you need to do adjustments. Wrap the text. So I'll wrap text in here. As so, and format that all up. You have the formatting idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here in my price per unit, and when I look at the scenario, I see the price per unit ranges starting at $12.99. It goes up to $17.99, and it goes up in 50-cent increments. So I'll start with $12.99, and now I need to go up by 50% or 50 cents. So $12.99 plus 50 cents is $13.49. And then I'll go up by 50 cents again. But Excel will recognize this pattern. So as you see, I've selected both of these cells, and I have the little fill handle here in the lower right corner. You can see my cursor is changing from a white plus to a filled in black plus. I'm going to drag straight down and I can see my numbers now. I'm at $15.49, $16.49, and I'm looking to take that to $17.99. Release my left click and Excel does the math for me, and now it's increased it in 50-cent increments. Now the units to break even, well, we've calculated those over here. In my example, it's in B7. In your example, it might be in another row and column, but as long as it's units to break even. So I'm simply going to just carry over B7 here, and I'll enter that. So I've just carried this number over by using this simple function. So now is the last part of the assignment, assuming you've done all of your nice formatting and you put borders around and a little shading and background, and you've got your cells formatted. So my formatting here, I'll just change this to a number, and again, this isn't currency, but this is a number, which means this is a number. I'm going to check all of my formats here, and then here's where I'm going to select my cells. And again, I'm on my Mac right now, so in your data, in your what if, which yours might be over here more to the right, you'll look for your data table, and you're going to input in your data table information just as we have in the first lab assignment. So that will automatically populate your information here. You'll have your format and you can save and submit. Again, this is just a real quick get you started following the very same concept from Lab 1. And I did a very detailed video walking through Lab 1.